Hello, Education 380, Education 500. Dr. Allen here. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're staying cool. And forgive me, I know I'm a little informal today, but I've been outside doing some things and wanted to get this done. I'm recording this actually on July 12th, and I wanted to kind of make note. I know I sent an email out this morning, but I will actually be out of town next week just for part of the week. But that does not really apply to this class at all. I just wanted you to know that I was going to be out of town because if you email me, you might get a response back saying I'm out of town. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be answering emails just as normally, whether I'm at home or whether I'm at the Outer Banks. Um, my family, we have a family member that has a house. We're going to go hang out there for a little bit, but I'm planning on still working and doing some stuff down there and making sure that I'm up to date on the class. So if you email me, don't hold back when you see that message or not expect a reply. I will definitely get back with you the same day. At least that's the plan. Um, I will tell you that I'm in transition early morning Sunday, but I Sunday afternoon I should be caught up on everything. So I just wanted you to know that I'm still checking, and it should all be good. But in case you got that message, wanted everyone to know that. Also, I just wanted to give a shout out. All the work submitted so far has been great. I will try to have week two completed and graded by late Monday, early Tuesday morning. The Nearpods I've looked at have been really good. I haven't released the grades yet or anything like that. I've been kind of working on those as they've been coming in. Um, Apple certifications have been up. I haven't posted those yet. I know some people have already completed them, and I'll make sure that they're all up to date. I'm going to plan on the ones that I submitted, go ahead and grade them. Again, they're not due till the end, but if you've done them, I'd like to go ahead and get them posted for you. The other thing is, this is nothing too major, but I noticed something we're going to be doing next week. Not a lot of tech next week, but it's more about the lesson plan assignment. But I did come across Google starting to do these AI and education, like like a class. It's like 2 hours. I'm going to try next week to actually complete that class. Just take a couple hours out of my day, and I want to see if it's any good. Because if it's pretty good, I'm going to share it with everyone. If you want to like check it out, it's not part of the class or anything like that, but it might be something we can kind of talk about next week. Anything else? Oh, Education 500, just for our graduate students. I did send out a reminder about the papers. The papers are actually due next week. I think that would be the 21st, I think is the date. We'll check the syllabus here in a minute. But if you are a little tight on time, just fire me an email. There's not a whole lot of people in the graduate section, and I can get the papers caught up if I need to. But I felt like I needed to have them in earlier if you could, rather than later. But if you do need time, just let me know. Excuse me, I was trying not to cough. Um, that's it. Let's go ahead and look what we have to do this week. And I promise I'll try to keep this. I said this last week, and I still ended up going about 45 minutes. Sorry, there's a lot, and it's just condensed. That's why I make these videos optional. But there will be YouTube videos up on lot. There's a lot of tech I'm going to mention, but again, I'm going to just keep it to three types of things. And let me just go ahead and hit the syllabus and go for it, and I can kind of explain. There's so much cool stuff out there now, and I've tried to keep up with it. That's one thing where I always feel like our students now, they're out in the field and they get to see a lot of this. I'll give you an example of one that I think where I think I'm still a little old guard. I shouldn't admit that, but I am. I know a lot of people use the tech I'm going to be talking about still, but all right, syllabus, and let's go and pull it up. And here we go down here for week 3. All right. I know I titled this classroom management, and when I'm talking about classroom management, I'm talking about just organizing yourself. Classroom management is obviously keeping students under control, and there's a lot of cool technology for that, and I will have that posted. Things like I think Classroom Dojo and things and such. Do I even have that listed? I don't. I'll have some links on that. A lot of that costs money, and a lot of times school systems pay for it. There's another one called Classcraft that's like it's like Classroom Dojo where you have the little emojis and you kind of move them on charts and all. But Classcraft is like more for middle school and it's a little more hardcore because it's like World of Warcraft. If you want to check those out, there are informational videos on them. But when I was thinking about classroom management, I'm thinking about sometimes it's just being organized. So I want to show you a little bit of technology that might help with that, specifically Wakelet, um, also Canva and all. Metameter Easily and Cami. Cami is really cool. I'll have a video up on that. That's one where you can take things and basically you can take PDFs and mark on them and color and such. It like almost like scans them. It's really cool. I know Jefferson County schools, at least a couple of years ago, were very big on Cami. I haven't heard as much about it, but it's something you might want to check out. Canva is probably that's the one we're going to look at today because I think it's the one you're most likely going to use, and most schools have a Canva account at this point. Metameter, I put on there. I think it's neat. It does the like word clouds and it's kind of like Nearpod. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But again, I'll put a YouTube video up if you want to check it out. But I did like it for instant feedback, like where you can do Nearpods and do the things where students put words up on those little post-it notes. This actually does a word cloud and you can see it form. And there's other things that you can do with it, like graphs and such. Easily, I have it on there. I used it. It was kind of Canva before Canva. It's gotten a little dated, but if you want to check it out, you are more than welcome to. I've had a few students who have used it recently and said it's gotten better. They thought they kind of liked it. So we're going to look at Canva in this little block. Back up to Wakelet. That's a portfolio system, but for the assignment, you're going to have a choice between Wakelet and something you may have seen before called Padlet. I think Wakelet is much more for teachers and Padlet is something you can apply in the classroom. Both are very much about organization, though. This is the big one. We're going to do I guess, your gamification type thing of the classroom. Kahoot, I think everyone knows Kahoot. That's the one I'm most familiar with. I was teaching when the the Kahoot boom actually happened. I'm by far most familiar with Kahoot. I still use Kahoot. It's almost gotten to the point where I think it's gotten too complex. I thought the beauty of Kahoot was in its simplicity. And it seems like it's trying to keep up with everyone, but that's just me. There's other things though called Poll Anywhere, of course, GimKit, Quiz, um, and such. The one that I did not put on here, and I caught it after I sent the syllabus out, but I figured I could just tell you, is Blookit. A lot of people are using Blookit now. I have messed around with Blookit. I have a Blookit account. That's one you will be able to do for this assignment if you would want to do for our class, especially if you're familiar with it. Blookit basically gives emojis and things like that. As you can see, I'm just going to click it because just to kind of show you what it is, but there's like little charts. A lot of people like it. See, it's very Kahooty, but you can do races with emojis and things like that. So if you wanted to give Blookit a try, that'll be good this week too. Let me get back to my site. All right. And then, of course, that's going to be our tech this week. You're going to have to do either a Wakelet or a Padlet. You're going to have to do either a Canva, Metameter, or Cami, or Easily. You're going to have to do a Kahoot, Poll Anywhere, GimKit, anything like that, or Blookit. Those are the three techs. And I'm going to focus on Canva, Wakelet, Kahoot on this video. And I will give you I'm going to give Padlet a quick shout out because it is a little different at Wakelet. I'm going to keep it at that on this video though, but there will be YouTube videos up on the other stuff if you want to check it out. Basically, again, think about them as I guess almost like silos. You can do Wakelet, Padlet, one of those or one of those. I will have some videos up on flipped learning. Of course, we're kind of doing a version of flipped learning here where basically you kind of record and get the information out and then students do the work. Pandemic, again, it's one of those topics where I don't think people were into it or was limited, and then the pandemic happened and a lot of people were into it. There's a lot of different ways you can film. I use Zoom. I think Zoom is the easiest for me. I actually just sign into my Zoom, do the camera, turn on the recording, and go. I probably should have a more souped up microphone. I have one back over here. I just haven't hooked up, but that seems like my computer one works well enough that I just kind of keep it simple. One thing I would recommend if you really do get into flipped learning, and again, that's where you record things, and then I I like the theory of flipped learning where the students kind of watch things, and there's an awesome video, and I will post it if you're interested in watching it. Again, I'm not going to make it mandatory because I don't have it on the syllabus, but it's about a 10-minute video, and it's about students who did flipped learning, and it was in I think it was in Detroit, and a lot of the students liked it because they could watch the teacher while they were on the bus on their phones. Then they would come in and do the work. Um, I like using YouTube mainly because LMSs, these learning management systems, they're awesome. I mean, Brightspace has a lot of bells and whistles. We had something called Sakai before. There's Blackboard. They're really good, and you can record in them. But I like YouTube because if someone's having problems, I can just send them the link. I have them. I can edit in YouTube. I can do things. I know I probably should edit more than I do. As you can, if you watch these videos, you probably catch some of that. You can blur out stuff, things like that. Um, I don't know. I just think YouTube has a lot of. I actually pay a little bit extra just so I can have more storage for YouTube and do the videos. Because if I'm like if I'm on the road and someone says, "Hey, I can't. I'm having trouble on Brightspace," I can just go to my YouTube account and send it to them. I think there's a lot of pros to that. I don't work for YouTube. I don't work for Google, who I think owns YouTube, but I think there are a lot of benefits to having a YouTube account if you're comfortable doing it. I will say one thing, and again, I said I wasn't going to get bogged down on flip learning too much, but I do want to say this: the more you do it, the more you kind of come to the conclusion you're not going to film them perfectly, and you don't have to film them perfectly. It's about getting the information out. It's about creating a presence in the class. I don't want to compare higher ed to K to 12 too much, but I will say this: teaching is teaching, and one reason I personally do these videos for better or for worse. I think it's important to have a presence in the class. So when you do have the video at least gives some sort of authenticity. And I know I put YouTube videos up of the technology, but I think it's important that I do a video just to kind of give myself a presence and like so we feel like hopefully we have somewhat of a class. So I'll again have some information up. So, but for this video, I'm going to mostly just focus on these three topics. We'll kind of go from there. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Wakelet. Wakelet is actually pretty simple. I like it. It was something that when I was teaching middle school was just kind of coming in. I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. Um, it was kind of starting to come into play. I will say this. I talked about classroom management, and classroom management sometimes is just about being organized yourself. That's how I used Wakelet. It's like a portfolio system where you can like I just sit on my couch. I taught middle school social studies, and I did teach sixth, seventh, and eighth, and they're all vastly different curriculums. But say one year they're like, "Hey, Jason, you're going to teach seventh grade social studies," and that's got a little more of a world tilt to it, and I need to refresh myself on ancient China. Um, I a lot of times would go, I do what a lot of people do. I would go to websites and start reading, trying to get information. You can create a nice little portfolio in Wakelet and just start dumping websites or PDFs and things like that in there, and it's in one spot. And you kind of have it. It has a lot of other stuff where you can make timelines and stuff and get students involved. I'm kind of approaching this though with what I'm showing you all as more of a personal research type thing. I have seen teachers use it for that didn't like Google Drive and things like that, where if students were researching a topic, they would create a Wakelet site, and the students would just I'm acting like they're throwing in the sites in there, and they would share it so the teacher could look at it. They just share the link. Um, I've also seen people when they were doing the writing process. A lot of times they would like put their PDFs of or works that they've done and kind of started to build a writing portfolio or have peer editing in it, things like that. There's ways to do it. It's basically like, do you know what Google Drive is? Which I know you do. If you know what OneDrive is, again, I know you do. It's similar, but it's not. You don't have to go through all the steps of login and login and finding it and such. You just go to Wakelet, you can use your Google login, and voila. Um, you can pretty much, as you can see, some of them I have titles and charts. Some of these will load up later with images, but as you can see, some of them have goofy GIFs and stuff. So what do I want you to do? Well, you're going to load 10 things into a Wakelet if you choose to do this instead of Padlet. You're going to hit create or collection. There's a whole bunch of templates. As I said, you can do lesson plans, you can do planners. There's all types of cool stuff in here. I would definitely check it out. But for us this week, just to get you kind of used to what it is, you can just do blank collection if you want. If you really want to go above and beyond, you can do the other stuff, but this is all I'm requiring. You're going to definitely give your collection a name. I'm going to do World War One. I think I had that on there already. And the start of the conflict. And, and then I'm just going to put research. All right. Now, all you have to do here is this. I have it. You can put images and stuff like that up here. I'm not requiring that. And you can pretty it up. As you can see, there's stuff here, but you can hit different designs and choose an image, upload an image. I'll show you real quick. Why not? We'll do history. We'll just do that. As you can see, there's Lincoln, who has nothing to do with World War One, but you get the point. And you see, you can pick the different ways you want to lay it out. Again, that's up to you. But if I was doing this, and let me see if I have something here. Let's hit World War One. And I'm just going to do a basic one. I'm just going to hit History Channel. I'm going to copy. Sorry, I'm working on my Mac at home, which I love. It's been a workhorse, but not having two screens sometimes throws me off. Let me move my little thing here out of the way real quick. All right, I have my website. I'm just going to paste it here. I'm going to, there it went. And as you can see, it's there. That's it. I want you, if you want to do the Wakelet, I want you to do 10 things related to a topic that you might teach on. Simple as that. Now to share it, to submit it, and I think a lot of you have kind of picked this up or have asked, you should be able to, if you have trouble submitting the link, just put it on a Word document on Brightspace and submit it on there. But to share it, as you can see, you can do can view. If anyone with it, you got to make sure that I can view it. So please click can view, and then you copy the link. Usually you have to publish it too. So that's it. You can send a QR code if you prefer, since everyone did QR codes last week. So, but just make sure you have can view and publish. That's if you want to use Wakelet. Now you can use Padlet if you're more familiar with it. I will say this, excuse me. Padlet probably is one that you would use with students a little more. And actually, I had to go back in through this. I actually started to record about 15, 20 minutes ago, and then I did something silly with Padlet. They've changed something, and I had to restart. That's my problem, not yours. But I just wanted to make sure I told you this because I didn't catch it. Padlet is, again, it's free. Don't pay for anything. But you only get 3 Padlets before you have to pay. So you just need to make one for me. That's fine. So we should be good. It used to be they gave you 5, and I didn't pay attention. I went to go in to make one for you all just to kind of show you. And I noticed if you look down here, it says 2 or 3 Padlets used. I had actually had some old ones in there, and it was throwing me off a little bit. It's like, why isn't it letting me make a new Padlet? But with that being said, that's, again, neither here nor there. Let me show you what a Padlet looks like. Whoop, there you go. It's kind of a wall, and you can do it. And as you can see, you can present it like just like a PowerPoint if you hit the play. You can also have students add comments. You see where you can comment. So if you're doing something and you have students looking at this independently, maybe they're doing something, or maybe work you do, you're out and you create this for a sub, and the students go in there, they can make certain comments and you can go in and look at it. Again, there's different formats. I'll show you here in a minute. I can still add stuff to it there for that little plus sign. It's a pretty cool tech. I like it. And again, I think you would do more student type based. Like you could create this. This was something I did for research, and I did a presentation at a conference on using the Baya tapestry in the classroom. It's pretty famous work of medieval times, but not medieval times, the restaurant of the period of medieval times. But you see, I could hit play. I'll just go ahead and hit it just to show you. You see, it just goes through like that if you want to do it that way. Or you can just have students get the link and you can share it, and they can go through and do it on their own. And there you go. And you can see, and you can copy and send it to them, and they can comment and make down here and say things. So that's what Padlet is. Now, if you want to do a Padlet, I will say, and I took it off, and I'll have this on the YouTube. There are a lot of really cool things with Padlets, and actually, I can't help myself. So if you go here, there are tons of pre-made ones. Like if you like map exercises, well, of course I say that. Cold War locations. I might have made this up. Of course, I'm not going to find any. Let's see if we got any showing up in my recent. Women. Trash. Do I have one in there? Yes, I do. Sorry. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Go to trash. Sorry, I'm doing this a little roundabout way. You don't have to do it like this, but I wanted to show you. I always thought this was cool. Um, can I restore it? Of course, I'm sidetracked here. Let's see if I can restore. Restore. All right, let's go back. I just wanted to show you this. I threw myself off by doing it, but you can do all types of cool map things. Like this is a Padlet someone made. Again, this thing drives me crazy here, so I'm gonna move it down there. But you see, you can go to different locations and it'll show you where it is. This is just something on the Cold War, and it's got different informational things. Like if I hit that, it's just really neat. I like it. I think it's cool. I just wanted to show you that, and you can add other points if you want to modify it. Now I got to go back and let me go to Made by Me. I'm going to have to actually delete that again because I want to show you how to make it. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. To make a Padlet, once you go in again, use your Google. That's probably the easiest way. You just hit make. There are, again, a ton of different boards. You are welcome, just like with the Wakelet, to pick a board that might work for you. I am going to do blank board. I just think that's the easiest one. And you can change the format, you can change the grid. As you can see, there's wall, stream, timelines. You can make timelines and it progresses through. A lot of very cool stuff. I'm just going to do the wall and hit done. You can change the colors and things like that, but that's where I'm not going to get, you can fiddle around with that. As you can see, there's other things here, color scheme, light, dark. You just hit settings. If you want to add something, you just hit that little plus, the subject. We're going to say, again, since I'm doing it, well, actually, let's do this. Archduke. Spell that. That's all right. And we'll do. Sure, I'm spelled that too. Sorry, I'm typing here quick. All right, he was someone on there. Now, was we'll put is seen. Let's put I like this. Whose death is seen as the start of World War I. Now you can pick different things on here and put images, upload images, links, camera. There should be GIFs. I think there are GIFs in there if you want them to. Let's do that. I mean, geez, there you go. There's all types of weird things, but we'll pick SpongeBob. You don't have to do this. You can put anything on there, a link or anything like that, but I'm being a little silly. And there it is. And I would like you just to put, it doesn't have to be anything complex. I just want of course, change the names and stuff. I think that's under settings. Yeah. Just want you again, pick a topic that you have something you might teach on. I would like 10 little things up on the Padlet to kind of give you an idea what a full Padlet would look like. You don't have to have a lot of details in the Padlets themselves if you don't want, like if you are doing something on colors, you might just have like blue is a primary color or something like that if you're doing elementary. So 10 little facts, that's it. So you don't have to do both Padlet and Wakelet. You can do either Wakelet or Padlet. To share it, same thing, hit that forward sign, move my face, and there's the share. And you can just do QR code. You can export it as a PDF even. I don't care. As long as I can see that you did it, that's fine. You can also share the link, copy the link to the board. So that's Padlet. That's SpongeBob. I don't think that's actually Archduke Franz Ferdinand, but alrighty. So that's Padlet, Wakelet. You can choose one. Next up, let me see which one we have on there. We have Canva, Metameter, Easily, and Canva. I will have YouTubes up on Metameter and Cami and Easily if you want to check them out. I'm going to show you Canva because I would say 99% of people like Canva the best. It seems like the school systems like Canva and they usually already have an account. I have a feeling a lot of you already know what Canva is, but if you don't, again, you will just go to canva.com. And what Canva is you can do a lot of things. You can create presentations, you can create flyers, you can create information sheets, you can create graphs, you can create infographics. which I think is pretty cool. You can do tier list. I like the tier list. Let's just go back and do a search here real quick. Go back to home. Oh, there we go. I like the infographics. I'm a big infograph person. And there are templates everywhere. As you can see, there's some infographics. And basically, to use them, some do cost money. I don't want you to do any of that. Just use a free template. You might have to click on some to see if you can edit them or anything like that. But if it says pay, don't pay. Don't pay. Don't pay. You can also create your own. I think it is actually easier to maybe use one that's been done and you can just type over it. But let's, for example, click on this. You see customize this template. And if you have to make your own, no big deal. It might even give you a little more skills, but as you can see, you can just click on it and type and kind of make it your own. Now, I'm going to give you a lot of freedom with this one. As you can see, that's pretty much it. But with as far as what it goes at, basically what I want, let me go back to home real quick. Let me go back. I don't care kind of what you do. If you want to do an infographic on a topic, that's fantastic. If you just want to do a flyer, and as you can see, there are flyers here, and there's a lot of free flyers, like for maybe a potential, I wouldn't hold you against it, but if you want to do something about um, an information night, a potential play that maybe students are going to do, maybe if you're in PE and there's going to be like an intramural dodgeball competition and you just want to make a flyer, that's fine. So you would just click it. You can again use the blank, but if you can get a free template, I think it'll make your life a little easier. And you can change the colors and things like that. This is one you just fiddle around with a little bit. It's pretty simple to use. As you can see, sorry, my Mac's it's a little slow, but I think it's going to have it on there. All right, let's pick a template. There you go. And then you can make it bigger if you need to. And such. There should be a little bar down there. Yeah. So you just click on it. And again, when you want to share it, and you see where you'll just type over that. You should be able to. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So you just click your little size thing. And again, to share, you just click that. You can do the link. Again, if you do that, though, make sure you give it anyone with link so I can see it. Or you can just download the PDF and submit the PDF. But again, you can do a flyer. You can do infograph. You can do a presentation. Mess around with Canva a little bit. Like I say, I'm going to be a little vague with this one because I think this is more just get in there and mess around with it a little bit. But do something you want to do. And again, it's a good cool. I like infographics, so I have actually made a few infographics over, recently, just using it for presentations and such. So it's a pretty cool tool. And like I say, I think the schools have actually been using it a lot. All right, last but not least, maybe. Let me get this one out there too. All right. Your presentation or gamification. Sorry, I was looking wrong side. Um, Gamification type tool. Kahoot, Poll Anywhere, GimKit, Quiz. You can pick. I don't. Most of you have probably competed or done things with all of these at some point or the other. I'm going to use Kahoot just because, again, it's the one I'm most familiar with. And also, I'm going to log into Kahoot because I'm hoping something will pop up. It doesn't always, but it always throws people off if it does, and I'm going to make note of it. Again, I don't care which one to do. And actually, if you would like to, if you watch the video in like Metameter and Canva, I would even let you do Metameter in lieu of one of these because Metameter definitely kind of crosses the line into both of those. Again, it's the one that has word clouds and things like that. All right. Let's just go. I'm just going to get out of this. I'm just going to go to Kahoot. Kahoot's cool. I like Kahoot. Let me say a couple things, though, about any of these gamification type things that you use. I talked about classroom management. If you're going to use games in the class, not like independent, like I know like with Nearpod and Kahoots and GimKit, students can independently work. That's fine. Kahoot, sometimes I would do like class Kahoots. Please make sure that you have some rules established before you play. I'm sure you've been in a class, been part of a class. I've sat in with adults that this has been a problem that we've done Kahoots. it can get loud because people are very excited. But again, at the end of the day, you're trying to teach content. So my rules were always like, I don't want to have to stop after every question because people are talking about what place they're in or they're cheering crazily. Because if it got too off the rails, that we would be out of luck that my principal would walk in and say, "What's going on?" Even though the students are engaged, you know. So I always told mine, you can cheer after questions, but it had to be like a quiet cheer, like no noise. Um, just because I couldn't, a Kahoot that might only need to take 10 to 15 minutes would maybe take 25 minutes because we had to stop after every question because it is a check for understanding type tool. And if you have a question and 60% of your students miss it, you need to talk about that question. So you don't want to spend every time like going over like, hey, everyone, calm down. I know you're having fun, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, also, and I think everyone probably knows this, and you probably noticed this on Canva, but there's always Kahoots that people have loaded up. The only thing I will ask of you, if you ever use someone else's Kahoot, once we kind of go in there and you download it and say, hey, I'm just going to use this Kahoot. It looks really cool because they put a lot of pictures in it. Go through, and this applies to all the technology if it's not yours. Go through the tech because there are people sometimes that have incorrect information in this tech. I remember one time I was looking for something quick and I burnt myself because it was on, I think it was like on World War II, or it might have been on presidents or something like that. And I got to a question and the question was wrong. The answer they had was wrong. And that could have been a simple click that they clicked the wrong button or anything like that. But if I had just taken like 5 minutes and went through and I could have fixed it quick. So just make sure if you're using someone else's Kahoot that the information is correct. Now, for this class, you're going to make your own Kahoot. As you can see, when you get to the home page, there's all this, and you can just log in. You can sign up for free if you don't. After I sign in, I'm going to be curious to see if something pops up. There's a lot to this, and sometimes people have asked me, "Oh my gosh, it's asking me to join." No, you just sign up for free. Don't do any of that. And actually, I haven't heard anything about this lately, but sometimes after you sign in, another one of these screens pop up, and it kind of looks like this. It's kind of deceiving, but if you go down to the bottom, it'll say proceed or something like that. Just click that. Don't sign up for anything. You're not required to pay for anything. All right. I have a lot of Kahoots. I used to do History Bowl and things like that, and Golden Horseshoe. So we used to do a lot of that. Let's see if I can log in. I don't know if it's kept. Hey, there it is. Um, I've had this for a while. I have a lot of content in my Kahoots. Um, and close that out. You see, they'll have a lot of things. You see, there's we're not worried about any of that. Just X out, get it out of them. Um, like I say, it used to be a lot more simple. Just look, it won't even X out because it's slow. My computer's slow. There we go. All right. All right. As you can see, let me go to my library. I have a lot on here. Um, you can download ones, but as you can see, I use it a good bit for review. Sometimes less is more, and this is definitely informative, and you can get some higher level balloons in here, but by and large, it's simple recall type stuff. But I think that's very important. You need the base sometimes before you can get to the in-depth stuff. Sometimes I'm all about critical thinking, so please don't misconstrue this. But sometimes I think we're so quick to get to the critical thinking, we don't always provide that base. That's just a personal thing. That's nothing. I'm sure I know there's colleagues of mine that would disagree with that. Um, but so I think Kahoot does fill a nice gap with that. But anyway, so once you sign in, you just hit create. We'll just hit Kahoot and it'll be slow. We're going to, as you can see, they have AI generated. We're going to talk about AI next week. But I would prefer you not to use AI generated. It's very, very neat. I know there's templates on Kahoot. We're just going to do a blank canvas again. And we're going to close this out. And again, pick your topic. I don't care if you want to use the same topic for all three of the text this week, but you're just going to do what year did World War One start? And you can insert, I'm not making you put images here, but if you want to, you would just click. Anything that has the star, you usually have to pay for. But you can get gifts usually are free for some reason, and the Getty images are not. Um, so we'll just click that, and that's there. And you would put the answers: 1913, 1914. It's the correct answer. And I don't care if you do four or if you do, you have to have two for every question. We'll put another one here: 1920. What's this go called? 1925. And as you can see, you can set timers. I'm not too picky about this with this. I want to just make sure you can use the tech. So what we'll do, that one's done. Now, if you have to do 10 questions if you do the Kahoot. If you do the Gim Kit, you need to do 10 questions. If you do the quiz, you need to do 10 questions. If you do book it, you need to do the 10 questions. When you want to add a question or add a slide, let's just add a question. And as you can see, you can pick the type. You can do true, false, slide, answer. We're just going to do quiz again. And there's our second question. And what year? What's this? Who entered the war after Russia dropped? These are not heavy duty questions, but that's all right. US, what's its correct answer? We'll say China. Yeah, we'll say and that's it. And you see it's all there. You can keep adding slides. I would just add questions. You add 10, and then when you're done, you can preview it. You can pick a theme. I'm not worried about any of that. We'll just save it. We'll say review World War I. You can do a description, and it should be in there. There's my word. And if you want to share it, just hit that. You can just email it to me, or you can just copy and again post the link. If you want to just screenshot it and send the questions to me, that's fine. I'm going to attach that document, but that's the Kahoot. I'm going to delete that one because it's a little vague, little bare bones. But that's Kahoot. Again, you are welcome to use Bookit. I will have YouTube videos up on the other ones. I just could go on forever if I'm talking about all of them. So I just wanted to pick one from each one section that if you wanted to talk about a little bit. Again, Bookit's on there. I can't remember if I did this on well, I did log in on this one because I did the 2 videos. I told you I signed out. But if you go in there, as you can see, Bookit is very similar. It just has the races with the little emojis. I have to say, I don't know if I have any on there. I haven't hosted any because I haven't had a class. My sets, you can discover others, but we hit one. Let's see. Does it have a preview? Oh, you can host it and share it and stuff like that. I check it out. I don't know if I can play it without usually someone signed in, but as you can see, there's different games. We did some people that did some pretty cool ones the last time. Let's go ahead. That's a great, of course. Let's see if that one will work. There we go. Again, don't pay for anything. And I'm hoping you can kind of see what it is. Post now. And there's the code. And that's kind of how Kahoot works. As you can see, it's very Kahooty. And you can have that and preview them and things like that. So anyway, there's a QR code. You have people with iPads. Students, I can only take this from what my son has said. He thinks Bookit's better than Kahoot. And I've heard a lot of the students say the same thing. So if you want to check it out, I mean, go for it. But I think that should do it for this week. Again, sorry, I know these get longer than I planned, but I feel like I need to at least talk about the tech and what I want. 10 questions for the presentation, the Kahoot, the GimKit, whatever. 5 Padlets if you want to put them on there, but if you choose to do the Wakelet instead, do 10. And then with Canva, just pick a flyer, create a flyer, an infographic or something like that, and just all those submit. There'll be videos up on Flip Learning. And I might send an article out. There's no assignment related to it, but I don't know if you've been following the news, but there's a lot of school districts that are starting to ban cell phones. And it's something, I had that station thing up from the last spring. It was something we actually talked about. So it's nothing, it's just topical. So if you want to check that out, I think Ohio County in West Virginia, it's up around Wheeling, I think. is actually looking at doing it. I think that was the first West Virginia county. So, with all that being said, the assignments this week, um, it's a little blocky on there, but discussion three, this blog three. And again, you can pick any of the text for the blogs. So I try to update those. I know when I rolled over week one, it specifically said Google Arts and Culture. So thank you to those who actually emailed me about that. When I copied the class, I didn't catch that. The formative assessment is your Kahoot, GimKit, anything like that. And then you just pick either Wakelet or Padlet. And that's the work this week. Next week, just to give you a precursor, we're going to talk a little bit about AI. I'm probably going to get locked in on that a little bit more next week. It's a little more unified. And we're going to talk about the brainstorming lesson planning activity. Don't worry, don't lose any sleep over the lesson planning because it's more of a brainstorming type activity. So with that being said, I think that's it. So I'm going to stop my screen. Thanks for letting me kind of bum out here a little bit. Whoops, that's not what I want. Sorry, I've lost my sheet there. I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. I don't need to host anymore. Thank you all very much. The work's been great. Thank you for bearing in there. And again, don't worry when you see the email. If you email me and says that I'm out of town, I am actually checking all my emails. So stay cool. As you can see, my battery's starting to die, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off. So hope everyone has a good week. And let's see if I can find where to stop recording. There it is. Talk to you later.